So if you're going to make it in this industry, in the fashion industry, you're going to have to get stronger. You're going to have to grow a pair, if you will. Whether you're a female or a male, you're going to have to be strong. Now, one thing about this industry is this. It tests you more than real life. You have to be stronger than regular life. It's not like regular life at all. Now in regular life, yeah, you know, people get into trouble about things. They get rejected here and there. They get tested and shamed here and there once in a while. But here in this fashion industry, every day you're gonna get a rejection of sort. Every day you're gonna get somebody trying to shame you. Every day you're gonna get somebody trying to embarrass you. And the thing is this, you get tested when you least expect it. You'll be going to a show, for example, you did everything right. You registered for the show as a photographer, for example. Let's say you're a photographer. You registered for the show. You send it your RSVP, if you will. You spoke to the organizers. You told them what you're bringing and what you're going to be doing. And then you get to the show. And then someone tells you, hey, what are you doing here? You know you don't belong here. Essentially, the testing that we talk about is this. It's when someone makes you feel less than. And less than is just better than what they make you feel like. Essentially, they tell you this. They look at you and say, you are nothing. You will never be nothing. We don't need you here. Why are you here? What? We don't need, nobody's ever gonna need you. That's how it feels. Now, when you think about it, you see why they do that, because they themselves at some point were in your position and somebody made them feel that way, and therefore that's how they qualify people, that's how they test people, that's how they make you earn your place. But you don't need to earn your place. If you have the skills, if you have the talent, if you have the experience, you shouldn't have to earn your place, right? But that's not how it goes. You need to earn your place. So that's how it goes here. You need to be stronger than real life. Yes, the fashion industry makes you feel empowered. But empowerment at some point is not enough. You need to get stronger. You need to understand things. You need to understand what's going to happen. And you need to have a certain understanding of the psychology of people. So that when they get out of line, when they get out of pocket, you know how to deal with them. If you don't know how to deal with people, even those who are above you, let's say you're a model, and then you have casting directors and you have people that you go to casting, they will treat you a certain way that you don't get it. It's not clear. You don't understand it. But when you grow that strength, when you grow that spine, that backbone, when you understand the psychology of these people and why they act the way they act, it's easier for you. You can navigate the industry better. And when you can navigate this industry better, life becomes a breeze. Life is different because you can deal with people outside of the fashion industry. Because the fashion industry sets the bar higher. Yes, there's some people who are trying to lower the bar and say, hey, models shouldn't have to do this, photographers shouldn't have to do this, there shouldn't be any casting. There are people who try to lower the bar. But the bar is still way up there. Once you can clear that raised bar, once you can navigate this industry, life is different. Life is easier, if you will. Now, as a photographer, there are many things you're going to have to deal with. You're going to have to deal with clients who don't pay you. You're going to have to deal with mediocre clients. They don't know what they want. They don't know what is possible. But they have this idea in their mind that I want this, I want to do that. And they want everything. They want everything at once. And worst of all, they're not going to listen to you. You're going to tell them, hey, we can do this, we can do that. This is possible. And if they listen to you, they will get more for their money. They will get better bang for their buck. But no, they think they know. They're not going to listen to you. And after they don't listen to you, they make things very difficult. they will still not be willing to pay you. Hey, you forgot. Hey, do I owe you money? Yes, you owe me money. Send me my money. They're not gonna send you your money. Get used to it. That's part of you getting stronger. And then after that, what you do is you set up a system where this doesn't happen again. You don't complain, because there's a lot of complaining. Everybody's complaining. Number one, everyone is complaining about support. Oh, you need to support me. Show me some support. Support does nothing, because people you're asking support from will not buy from you. Maybe they'll buy one time, but they're not gonna buy from you. So get used to it. Get used to the fact that your friends, the people you know, the people that are close to you, the people in your hometown, especially if you are from a small town, a small village, they're never gonna buy from you. You're never gonna make it in your hometown. There is exception to the rule, but as the saying said, you cannot be prophet in your own country. You're gonna have to go outside of your hometown. In fact, one thing that works for me is this. If someone is from my hometown or from the place I'm from, I don't tell them that. I don't, oh, well, we have something in common. Because what's going to happen is this. The minute they find out you have something in common with them, the minute they understand that, hey, we have something in common, we know each other, we should know each other, what's going to happen is this. Now they start testing you. They start wondering, where in my hometown are you from? Are you from the ghetto section, the cheap section where I don't respect these people, or are you from the higher end section? Now, even if you're from the higher end section, do you deserve to be in the higher end section? So that's what's going on in your mind. Again, that's my opinion, I'm guessing here. But what's a fact is their behavior changes. While if they don't know where you're from, they don't know you, they treat you differently. They act differently. Now, it takes me a while to learn all of this. And also, it takes me a while to share it because I had to make sure. But one thing I find is this. This is happening to a lot of people you know. This is happening to a lot of photographers you know, to a lot of models you know. They're not talking about it. Some of them may not be aware of it. Some of them may also be used to it to a certain point that they just brush it off. They just keep charging, keep going. But it's happening to a lot of photographers. One thing that's happening to a lot of photographers is flaking. Models don't come. They just don't come. Or they cancel at the last minute. Nobody says anything. The models flake. They don't come. And the photographers, they don't say anything. They just move on. But it kind of eats at them a little bit. And you also have models who comes with bad attitude. Now the attitude is partly it's because of the photographer. Because photographers, they don't know how to deal with the models. They don't know how to make them feel comfortable. They don't know how to connect, to communicate. And they don't know how to vet models from the beginning before they even come. So that's one thing I've been researching and learning, where I'm learning and when I apply what I learn, things change. I don't have models flaking. And even if one model had to cancel at the last minute, it doesn't bother me. In fact, I have 2 other models waiting to just be there. And that helps tremendously. Now you have photographers who have assets, who have the connection, who know people, but they don't know how to use the people. And they don't know how to book photo shoot. They don't know how to book models. You have models who have connections, who've been in the industry for a long time, and they cannot get people to help them. So let's say you have a casting or even a last minute casting. You think they're gonna actually call someone and actually have the person come and the person is gonna do something. No, they're just gonna post it on their page and then maybe somebody's gonna show up. And most likely nobody will show up. While they have thousands of followers. They've been in the industry for a long time. And lastly, we have cliques. Everybody's in their little clique. Now understand this. As an artist, as a creative, whether you were a photographer, a model, or a makeup artist, you can never lead if you're part of a clique. Because being part of a clique just makes you part of the community. You're not leading. Nobody really respects you. Yeah, they will share your stuff. They will talk about your stuff maybe once in a while, but they don't respect you. They don't understand the value of what you do. They don't appreciate you. They take you for granted. So for me, what I do is this. I don't work with models who are part of cliques. If any model in the clique just do something to kind of make you wonder, then everybody else in that clique kind of gets, you don't work with them really. Because the clique mentality is, it's weird because you have to qualify, you have to get the blessing of the person who is in charge of that clique. A clique is basically a group of 5 to 10 model or a group of 3 to 5 photographers. They always work together. They always do things together. Whenever there's a shoot, they always show up to support one another. But if there is a paid, I'm talking about paid gig, where everything is taken care of and then you try to book them, nobody shows up. Nobody's there. If you try to communicate with them and try to book them, nobody answers. Or they take days to answer. And by the time they get back to you, they don't show any enthusiasm, any excitement about it. It's like you're trying to drag them to it, so you move on to somebody else. And then you realize something. It's easier to work with people you don't know. It's easier to work with new people. And yes, a lot of business is done with people that already worked with one another. But when you start getting comfortable working with strangers, and when you start knowing how to deal with strangers, it's so much easier. Because now everybody bring their best. Make this experience. You work with somebody the first time, wonderful, great. So you're like, okay, maybe we should work again together. Second time, okay, not as good as the first time, but still good. Third time, crap. So now when you start working with strangers and they don't know you, you don't know them, and it's strictly business, they bring their best because they don't know you. And also you know how to deal with them, you know how to interact with them, you understand the psychology of it, you understand your value, you understand what they bring to the table and their value. You respect their value, but at the same time, you don't allow them to ever disrespect you. You don't allow them to ever devalue what you bring, your talent, your skill, and your experience. Because the minute they devalue what you bring to the table, you understand to say something about it or to point it out. They come in late, you're like, hey, you are late. They come in and they have, I don't know, eyebrows not done, hair out of place, nails chipped and dirty. You don't get emotional about it. You remind them that, hey, that's not what we agreed on. You are a professional. I expected this to be differently. And if it's a photographer and they come in, their batteries are not charged, they don't have lighting with them, they are missing equipment or anything, they don't have their backdrops are dirty, you tell them, hey, that's not what I expected from you. I expected you to have a brand new backdrop because I'm paying you full price here. I expected you to have your battery charged because I expect professionalism and I expect you to give me your best. Now again, all these things we're talking about, you cannot just talk about it openly because you are afraid. You're afraid that once you tell them to other people, then you're gonna have more of that. But when you start working with strangers and you start getting more and more work outside, then it doesn't matter. Because there are people that you can work with. If not in New York, Georgia. If not in Georgia, California. If not in California, maybe Chicago. You don't know. But there are people who can work with.